We got 2 dead dogs from the front room. TV knocked over and a cocktail knocked over in the front.
It was Sunday, September 17th, 2023, when police were dispatched to a family home for a welfare check. The call came in at 8:43 p.m. Zoraida Bartholomé, 32 years old, hadn't answered her mother's phone calls all day. This was unusual. Her mother always checked in about the kids, and Zoraida was quick to respond. But this day was different. To make matters worse, Zoraida's husband, 38-year-old Alberto Rolon, hadn't shown up for his 6 a.m. shift that morning either. Two alarming details from a couple known for being responsible and reliable. As officers approached the house, they discussed the family, a household of 4, including 2 young boys, 10-year-old Adriel and 7-year-old Diego, and 3 dogs. But something about the scene struck them as odd. In a home with 3 dogs, you'd expect barking or some movement. Instead, there was nothing but dead silence. The family moved into the home just a few months earlier, a beautiful property with a backyard, the neighborhood of Romeoville, a southwestern suburb of Chicago. Zoraida's mother, deeply worried, had requested the welfare check. Zoraida's brother was also on his way to check on her. In hindsight, it might have been a blessing that the officers arrived first. What they discovered inside would haunt any family member. The arrival. The officers immediately knew something was wrong. The lights were off, the house was unusually quiet, and no one was responding to the door. The officers peered through several windows with their flashlights.
There's a light on one of the back rooms. The back one? Hey, I got a TV knocked over and a coffee table knocked over. Romeoville 367. Can we get another unit to Camden, please? Everything's 10-4. No, we're gonna go on that side. There's a gate over there. Hey, hold on. Wait. You look in this window?
Oh, that's not the shit. Here, wait. Keep shining. Oh, wait.
Lights are all off. Free
No, there's,
on the back here, real quick.
Furthermore,
Keep an eye on that guard, yeah. Want to try that door real quick, Ron? See if you can peek in the back. There's a window, right? Yeah. Here, I'll go with this window. This window's open. No, it's not.
oh god. Dogs are dead. 2 dead dogs.
I need more units here. Hold this. I got 2 dead dogs. TV's knocked over and a cocktail knocked over in the front room.
they made a decision to enter the house. However, they had to proceed with caution, as they didn't know who or what might still be inside.
I'm waiting for at least one more to make entry.
One officer retrieved a riot shield as a precaution.
We're going to make entry through the back door.
You go grab the rifles and want me to shield?
Yeah, I'm going to be your lethal cover, Ron.
He later handed the shield to another officer and grabbed his rifle.
Yeah, fire, stage. Gambler. I'm sorry, I didn't check. I'll be there once.
No worries, I'm going to force entry to the back. Position of cover, please. I don't know if anybody's in there or not. Hey, you know what? Hey, one of you guys hold the front.
Or no other side doors, right?
No, not that I know of.
Here we go.
Hey, Ron.
Yep.
Here's what we're going to do, okay? I'm going to boot it. We're going to go nice and slow, all right? Drake, you stay behind me. You stay in the back of the stack. You watch our 6 as we move through the house, okay? Corey, come up here, cover this door. This window. Cover the window. What do you see, Corey? How many dead dogs you got?
We got 1 dead dog right here. We got a 2nd dead dog over to the left. Why don't you check the door handle first?
Once inside, they discovered a horrifying scene. All 3 family dogs were dead, each shot in the head. The dogs had clawed desperately at the front door in their final moments, trying to escape. The husband, Roland, was found next. He was lying dead in the hallway, multiple bullet wounds in his body and a pool of blood surrounding him. He had been shot in the back, suggesting he was trying to run. The most horrifying discovery was made in the bedroom. The door had been kicked open, and evidence of a struggle suggested Zoraida had tried to fight off her attacker or attackers before being overwhelmed. She was found with her hands covering her face in a final gesture of terror. shot multiple times, and left in a pool of blood. The most heartbreaking of all was the fate of the couple's 2 young boys, too innocent to have caused anyone harm. They had been murdered in their beds. Zoraida must have done her best to protect them before she was overpowered. Shell casings littered the house, as though the murders were carried out quickly and violently. The execution-style killing suggested the perpetrator knew exactly where to go and who to target. No one was spared, not the children, not the pets. The killers had left a message, the letter F spray-painted on the walls. Could this have been a drug cartel hit deep in the American Midwest? Such brutality was not expected in an otherwise peaceful neighborhood. When Zoraida's brother arrived, he was stunned by the police presence and devastated by the news. He now had the heartbreaking and daunting task of informing their mother that her daughter's entire family had been murdered in cold blood. There's no right way to deliver such news. It's unimaginable what that moment must have felt like. Speculation. Initially, investigators wondered if this was a murder-suicide, since Roland was not found in the bedroom with his wife and children. However, this theory was quickly ruled out due to the multiple gunshot wounds in his back, indicating he had been fleeing. The claw marks and animal feces near the door revealed the dogs had sensed the violence taking place. In their final moments, they were in a state of panic and terror, likely killed last. Authorities estimated the murders occurred between 9 p.m. Saturday and 5 a.m. Sunday. They believe the attack was targeted, meant to send a clear and brutal message. People's response. The family members were devastated. No one could fathom who could commit such a heinous act. Both Roland and Zoraida held decent jobs, were not in financial trouble, and had no history or involvement with drugs or gangs. They didn't even own firearms, suggesting they hadn't anticipated any danger. The murder seemed random, senseless, and deeply evil. The Romeoville police enlisted the help of the FBI, ATF, and DEA, suspecting the crime resembled the style of a cartel hit. Neighbors were equally shocked.
Devastated this happened to a young family.
The fact that nobody heard anything, and then these houses are pretty close together, is very sinister.
This is devastating to me. I mean, I've been crying on and off all day.
Just a young family trying to do better. I'm sorry. It's horrible. It's tragic. It's unfair.
The boys were beloved at their school, Robert C. Hill Elementary. Their classmates and teachers struggled to cope with the devastating news of their death. Zoraida's sister took to social media, pleading for information. I want to know what happened to my nephews, my sister, her husband, and why. Early investigation. Pending the detailed forensics, police were looking for any form of lead or suspect. Through early questioning of the family, detectives learned that Zoraida had been having an affair with a colleague at work. Now, this wasn't an exceptional case. In the past, Zoraida had had other affairs, but after confessing to her husband, they managed to work it out and move forward. This time, however, it was different. She was reportedly madly in love with a co-worker, 32-year-old Nathaniel Huey Jr. They had been seeing each other since May 2023, when they were both working at Avanti Engineering, a machined parts manufacturer. Zoraida had confided in her sister that Huey was her soulmate. She was the Juliet to his Romeo. On September 18, 2023, the day after the horrifying discovery at the Romeoville residence, police went to speak to 32-year-old Nathaniel Huey Jr. at his workplace at Avanti Engineering.
Obviously, we talked to her family, we talked to friends and stuff, hence why we're here, and that's why we're sitting in this room talking to you.
Zoraida's sister was correct. Police found a post-it note at Huey's workstation, which appeared to be written in Zoraida's handwriting. It read, "You mean so much to me. Like, I don't think you understand how much I actually love you." The whole affair seemed to be an ill-kept secret. Perhaps they didn't really care about keeping it under the wraps, considering how a post-it note was just in plain sight at Huey's workstation. In fact, Zoraida's husband knew of some of her affairs, but chose to ignore or deal with them privately because, reportedly, keeping the family together was more important than infidelity between spouses. In some odd way, that seemed like a noble cause, but to others, it might seem like being a pushover, something no one should just tolerate or sweep under the rug. Back to the questioning, the detectives began by telling Nathan they were aware of the affair, but that's not why they were here, and that's not their concern.
I understand. I mean, we're married. I understand why you want to keep it on the down low, so we're just trying to figure out.
It was just a, like, I don't know, just some kind of.
All right, what kind of car do you drive?
GLC Banana.
Like a SUV?
Yeah.
So, and you said you've never had contact with her husband? Like he's never sent you a message or called you or contacted you? No. All right. All right, so your first name's Nate. What's your last name?
You.
You spell it?
H-U-E-Y.
H-U-E-Y. Is it Nathaniel?
Yeah.
What's your birthday?
91.
I'm not trying to ruin your marriage or life, so not like I'm gonna, I'll try to keep this, if we can, from just with us in this room talking, but we're trying to figure out what happened at that house. Did she say her husband cheating on her, or does she say she cheated in the past or anything? And, I gotta ask, did you have anything to do with this?
Sure.
Okay. I have to ask, and you know that your number is going to be in her phone, and we're going to find your text messages, and we're going to find that stuff, and I want to get a surprise later on that you guys are fighting, or that there was something going on between you two, or just three of you that I don't know about, Something like that.
Nobody was threatening anybody or fighting or anything like angel, you know what I'm saying? It was sweet girl.
We have tons of videos to go through and license plates readers and text messages, Snapchat messages and all that stuff. In your head, if you could think of something like, oh, you guys should know about this, it's the time to tell us now before we find it later on, in the computer, we find it in a phone message or something.
Nathan paused. Of course he doesn't want to hand over his phone, which could have flirtatious messages with the woman who just passed away. Also notice how the detectives asked him about his vehicle and model number. Furthermore, if he had any kind of confrontation with her husband, the detectives seem to know more than they're letting on.
So we were talking with the bosses, and they said, well, we already went through phones. They already got one half of the conversation. And you said you talked to her on your phone, right? What we'd like, or what we're asking for, is consent to get the text messages off your phone between you and her, or the Snapchat, or whatever it is between you, so we have both sides of it. Trying to eliminate you as a suspect, they seem better.
I tell you.
No, I believe it.
This is all I have right there for it. I need everything back.
Oh, that's from this morning?
Yeah. Everything else, so you have to grab it from the computer.
I mean, it'll be on there. It'll be on your phone. You can't.
When you delete stuff, it's never actually.
So let's just say you have a 64 gig phone. You use about 58 of it. The rest is the catch. It stays in the catch. We'd like to see if we can get the stuff from your end. On our side of it, we can get a search warrant, to go through the phone, and just take a little longer. The fastest way would be consent, pull it off and give your phone back. I explained to you earlier. I'm trying to eliminate you.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a deceased girl and her last her boyfriend or whatever is you. I'm sure that if you're an outsider looking in, who's your suspect? And so I'd like to eliminate that. I'd like to say, well, no, we looked through stuff. He didn't have nothing to do with it. We're done with it.
I guess I'd let you guys just go on the computer.
It would take us a couple hours to pull information off the phone that could eliminate you as a suspect, right from the start. It's up to you.
It feels like you're pretty suspecting of me.
Anytime somebody dies, you look at the husband, the boyfriend. If it's a girl, if it's a guy, you look at his wife and any kind of lovers he had. That's what we look at. We start there. And then this person was at work. So we eliminate that. This person was, we went through the phone. There's nothing between those two. When you're telling us there's no threats. But I can't go to, to our bosses. I can't go to a state attorney and say, no, I verified it. There's no threats.
Just go on the computer, chief, because I don't really give up my phone. I'm saying this. I completely understand what you're saying. And I'm not even trying to give you guys a hard time taking my phone and all that like that. And you already told me you can get
her side of it. I can't get your side. That's a problem.
How about this? How about I come see you guys later today after work or something like that? Because I got other in there that I don't necessarily want you to be looking at. You know what I'm saying?
I promise you, I don't care what you look at.
Again, I'm asking for consent. The consent means that that we plug it right in, we dump it because you've told us it's okay. Without that, then we have to get a search warrant. If we get a search warrant, then we have to type that up, and it's going to take longer.
I can bring it down to you guys and you can dump it all you want to.
I mean, you do understand how that kind of defeats the purpose, though. Like, we're looking for like Snapchat stuff, and then you delete Snapchat stuff. It's going to kind of look like you're guilty. You know what I'm saying?
Nathan's past. Looking into Nathan, police learned he had previously owned a private security firm, Black Bear Security, and he wasn't a single man either. In fact, he was married to a woman a few years older than him. Her name was Ermalinda, and they had been together for 8 years. While the couple had a wedding ceremony, they weren't legally married, but would refer to each other as husband and wife. They lived in the same house, had a dog, and Ermalinda had children and grandchildren of her own. Nathan, too, had children of his own. And similar to Zoraida, Nathan had reportedly cheated on Ermalinda more than once in their relationship. It just seems strange that these habitual cheaters were living steady, committed relationships. Perhaps they just enjoyed the excitement of affairs. However, unlike Zoraida's husband, Nathan was a known gun enthusiast, as stated by Ermalinda's family. Ermalinda's interview. The police went over to speak to his live-in partner and wife, Ermalinda Palomo, 50 years of age and 18 years older than Nathaniel. She acted surprised, but the police mentioned that they had seen some messages and wanted to speak to her as they believed she was in danger. Watch how it unfolded.
Hello. Hi, my name is Detective Garcia from the Romeoville Police Department. This is Detective Wagner. I know you know what's going on and why you were here. Okay? I know you were talking on the phone with your husband right now. Does he live here with you? How long have you guys been together?
2015.
We're investigating a murder.
Murders.
If you're one of my regular viewers, then you already know we're going to revisit this one.
We have in our possession some phones, okay? And in those phones, we're doing what it's called a phone dump. So if anybody's talking on text app that you can download, we can retrieve those messages.
Okay.
We have retrieved those messages.
Okay.
All right, we've read them.
Okay.
They're pretty clear that somebody's pretty upset at the victim.
Okay.
Is there any way that these text messages are going to come back to you, or your name, or your phone, or anything associated with that?
I would like to speak with you without him present. Okay with that? We can go over by my car if you'd like.
Let me get my jacket.
Okay.
Sure.
As Ermalinda goes inside to grab her jacket, Nathaniel is seen leaving the house. And this is the point that the detectives are trying to make. They're trying to separate the two so they can question them in private. Notice how they have a dog.
What's up, man?
Do you mind if we drive down the street? If he comes out, he's probably going to tell you to go back inside. Are you going to do that, or what do you want to do?
Well, you guys obviously have me. You can't really say much, right?
Well, it's what we want to talk to you alone, separate from him. That's what we're trying to
make sure that you're safe.
Hey, can we go by the park?
Sure.
Yeah, we're down that way. Want to text?
I'm gonna cry.
It's all right.
It's not all right.
I'm saying it's okay if you cry. Do you want to go to the Streamwood Police Department? Isn't that down the street or no?
Just lay here by the park. Can you do a U-turn park in front of the park?
Sunnydale Park.
Okay. How long have you known Huey?
Since probably 2015.
Okay. Why are you scared of him?
Oh, I'm not scared. Well,
Okay. Why are you scared right now?
because when I called him, because I was scared, I didn't know where he was.
Okay.
He said, someone's following me.
Okay.
So I called and I called. And then I heard him say, why are you following me? Do you want to search the car? And then someone said to him, there are messages from you, and it's because her husband found out you were having an affair. And I didn't know that.
You didn't know what?
That he was having an affair.
When did you find that out? Right now?
Right now.
Okay. When's the last time that he had an affair? Because I know this is not the first time.
No, it's not.
When's the last time you knew he had an affair?
When we first started dating.
2015?
15 to maybe 17. You know what? His son was born and he said, I'm not having any more affairs. I'm not cheating on you.
Okay.
Stupidly.
Okay, so the last time you knew? Okay.
So then I had a party at my house. I fell asleep and apparently he said someone kissed him and that was so I don't know, maybe it was 2019. And he said, no, she kissed me and that was it. Come on. We're all drunk.
You know him better than we do, so.
He said that he was no longer going to do that. Why I'm upset.
Do you know any of the names of the affairs that he's had in the past? Any of the female names?
But he had recently said, I haven't been with a lot of people.
Do you trust him?
Obviously, I can't trust him now, can I?
When you find out about him, do you guys get in arguments? Do you talk to the women that he's having affairs with?
No, for what? No, I'm too old for that. I'm 50 years old. There's no reason for me to, no. And quite honestly, it's not the female's fault. It's his fault.
Right.
No.
You get upset over it.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to hold it back right now. But like I said, I thought we went through years. I said to him, are you cheating on me? And he said, no, you know what? They flirt with me, but I don't fall into that.
Does he own guns?
No.
He
has that, he goes to Milwaukee. It's airsoft.
He does airsoft stuff?
Yeah, he does airsoft. He's in a team. Do you guys have water?
This is a sealed drink.
I'm not taking that from...
How sure are you that he doesn't?
I'm actually very positive.
Okay.
You've never ever seen him with a gun?
Well, we go to the range and we'll shoot.
So he has a FOID card?
No, he does not. I have a FOID card.
Do you own any gun?
Yes.
Have you ever met Zoraida?
No.
Have you seen a picture of her?
No.
That name comes up to you because you saw it?
Well, really, that name stuck in my head because that night I thought, are you cheating on me? They're calling in more than once. And it was a long name. I thought it was Bartholomew, actually.
So when we asked your husband if he knew this person, Zoraida, he said, I've never heard that name. Why would he be lying to us?
I don't know.
Should I believe him?
I don't know. Please don't tell him I said
We're not going to tell him anything.
I thought that you guys said to him he was having an affair. Somebody said he's having an affair.
We have a matter of someone lost their life. So him having an affair is the least of my worries.
Suck it up. It's not your problem. I get it.
You didn't do it. He did.
I'm just...
Right?
Again, I understand.
Okay.
I know I talk a lot, and I know what you guys are here for something else, and I'm making it about cheating, and it's not. You're trying to find out if he killed the husband?
We're trying to find out who was involved. So we're talking to everyone. We're talking to you. We're talking to him. We're talking to other people because, as you may be aware, people lie to the police, right? What I would like to ask you is either Friday or Saturday night, did he go out with his friends?
No.
Did he work?
Friday night? No, he was with me.
Saturday night?
No. Okay, this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
When I get a chance to be with him, I'm with him.
Okay.
So Friday night, we started drinking, and we were at home, and we were drinking and drinking and drinking. We drink a lot. We probably fell asleep. He sleeps in the garage. I sleep in my room.
Why does he sleep in the garage?
Because he says that he's more comfortable in the garage. But
is there a bed in there?
No, it's a couch. I know, but that's not why we're here. And I don't mean to be rude.
No, you're not being rude at all.
So we were drinking. We woke up, and we were hungover.
On Saturday?
He said, we gotta move. I said, I really want to go to Ross. I want to buy some jeans. And then he said, let's get something to eat. He said, okay, let's go to Jersey Mike's. It was still day. And I got home, I fell asleep. Apparently I woke up and yelled at everybody. He was with the kids playing. My daughter had said to me, did you wake up in the middle of the night? And I said, no, why? And she said, well, I was just wondering because you were yelling at everybody. And it seemed like you were just sleeping. And I think I heard you talking in your sleep. I said, no, I didn't. And then I said, maybe it was Nate that was talking in his sleep. And she said, no, Nate was snoring.
Well, at least she's talking. But you know the old proverb, empty vessels make the most noise.
Okay, if he were to leave in the middle of the night one day, would it be safe to say that you probably would have not known?
No, I think everybody knows when he leaves because when you slam our door, the front door, you don't even have to slam it. Like you hear it. And the house is, it's fragile.
You wouldn't be covering for Nate at all?
No, he was here. Even my daughter said he was here.
Additional forensics. Through some brilliant detective work, using Ring doorbells along the route, cell towers, and flock camera systems, police were able to track a suspect vehicle around the route from Streamwood, where Nathan and Ermalinda resided, to Romeoville at the suspected time of the family massacre. And what a surprise to find, the vehicle belonged to Nathaniel Huey Jr. With Nathan as their lead suspect, the question arose, what motive would Nathan have to brutally massacre an entire family execution style of the woman he was having an affair with at work? The woman who loved him and called him Romeo to her Juliet. Well, this is where the story starts to get crazy. The next day, on September 19th, 2023, Ermalinda's family received a strange text from her at around 4:30 p.m. Take care of my grandbabies. They sensed something was wrong and were unable to contact her. Using a family tracker app, they were able to follow her movements for a while until that night, when her phone and the app were turned off. For her family, the situation was a nightmare. A mother of 5 and grandmother of 5, Ermalinda's sudden departure was out of character. Her family filed a missing persons report and hired a lawyer, fearing she had been abducted by Nathaniel. Their concerns were magnified by Nathaniel's erratic behavior. According to one of Ermalinda's daughters, he was intensely paranoid. He claimed people were constantly watching him, going so far as to tape over the lens of their doorbell camera and even the red light on their television. If anyone removed the tape, he would lash out in anger. Nathaniel also had a troubling past, a criminal history, including a court order barring him from owning firearms. Now, the family feared he had violated that order and abducted Ermalinda. Police, without specifying why at the time, considered both Nathaniel and Ermalinda persons of interest. The hunt was on to find them, as it was believed that they had fled state and were possibly trying to leave the country. September 20th, 2023, the final chapter. By the next day, law enforcement had tracked down the fugitive couple. The breakthrough came when a flock camera flagged Nathaniel and Ermalinda's vehicle near a Walmart in Catoosa, Oklahoma. Surveillance footage showed the pair walking into the store together, side by side. But what stood out was their casual demeanor. They browsed the electronics and makeup aisles as if nothing was wrong, even smiling and laughing at times. It was clear that Ermalinda wasn't being held against her will. I don't know about you guys, but this is not how I think a kidnapping victim's supposed to act. I mean, he walked out of Walmart with those big pearly whites, and she seems pretty happy and even playful with the woman who works there. Just have a look. She's swinging the bag. I'm guessing the beeper went off. And after a few jokes, they leave. Outside, Catoosa officers were already waiting at the parking lot. Officers moved in, but Nathaniel and Ermalinda bolted, leading police on a high-speed chase down an Oklahoma interstate. The pursuit ended in catastrophe when their GMC slammed into the center divider and burst into flames.
Fire! Get out of the car!
What happened next was equally horrifying.
I'm afraid of murder-suicide.
As the vehicle burned, Nathaniel shot Ermalinda in the head. Then, in a desperate act, he turned the gun on himself. His first attempt, under his chin, failed, so he fired again. This time, he ended his life. Oklahoma police, fully aware of Huey's status as an armed and dangerous murder suspect from Illinois, approached the burning vehicle cautiously.
I got door. Do not see movement. No movement. Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out now! Come out now! I don't see anything. Got your cover. Cover. Nothing. Floorboard. You got that door?
Here, we need extinguisher.
Behind you. Got that? Moving to your left. Go ahead. God dang. What's that?
You guys get him out, or I can
The driver's still in, passenger we got her out. We had to remove her from the vehicle. So they're working on her back there.
He did shoot her, back of the head. She's the missing person, endangered. He's the murder suspect. Yeah. Yeah.
There's bags and stuff in the car, like.
Ermalinda was rushed to the hospital, but succumbed to her injuries the next day. With both Nathaniel and Ermalinda dead, questions about the Romeoville family massacre remained unanswered. The twist. After the fiery crash, the case seemed closed. Nathaniel Huey Jr., a deranged murderer, had died in a desperate escape attempt, but a year-long investigation would uncover a truth far more sinister. Ermalinda Palomo, once thought to be a victim, the grieving grandmother manipulated by Nathaniel, was no victim at all. In fact, police revealed she was the true mastermind behind the massacre. What unraveled was a dark tale of jealousy and manipulation, and a catfishing scheme that spanned 2 years, beginning in December 2021. Using an array of fake accounts and phone numbers generated through mobile apps, Ermalinda constructed a fictional world where Nathaniel was ensnared in a web of lies involving cartel bosses, hitmen, hackers, and a shadowy Bulgarian criminal organization. The manipulation begins. At first, Ermalinda's fake personas were seemingly harmless, intended to keep Nathaniel from cheating on her or pulling away emotionally. Interestingly, these cartel leaders were very interested in Nathan's private life. They forbade him from seeing other women and even instructed him to be more intimate with Ermalinda. But over time, the lies escalated, feeding into Nathaniel's growing paranoia. Through meticulously crafted messages, Ermalinda convinced Nathaniel that he was constantly being watched by dangerous people, and any misstep could cost him his life. Even her own daughter later admitted, he became suspicious of everything, keeping to himself and retreating to the garage. He wasn't the same. He pushed us all away, even my mom. By September 2023, Nathaniel was fully consumed by his delusion. He believed his every move was monitored by the cartel. Then, on September 14th, 2023, one of Ermalinda's fake personas sent Nathaniel a chilling text. It claimed there was a mole within the organization, a traitor targeting Nathaniel. The identity of the mole? Zoraida Bartholomew. In a web of lies Ermalinda spun, Zoraida wasn't just a lover or co-worker, she was an enemy. According to this fabricated cartel narrative, had been orchestrated to gain Nathaniel's trust and expose secrets about the cartel. Now, the bosses insisted Zoraida had to be eliminated, and they even introduced him to a fictional cartel assassin named Turtle who would help him plan the murder. Over the following days, Nathaniel spiraled deeper into this deadly conspiracy. He called in sick to work and began meticulously preparing for the crime. Following step-by-step instructions sent by the fake cartel accounts, they planned everything, such as identifying cameras in the neighborhood, determining the best entry and exit points, learning about the vacant house behind Zoraida's home, and even staging the crime scene to look like a burglary by teenagers. Throughout it all, Ermalinda's fake cartel reassured Nathaniel many murders go unsolved. In the early hours of September 17, 2023, Ermalinda drove Nathaniel to the Bartholomew residence, communicating via walkie-talkies. He stayed nearby while Nathaniel entered the home with a 9mm handgun. What followed was a calculated act of brutality. Nathaniel cut window screens to simulate a break-in, then entered through an unlocked kitchen door. Alberto Bartholomew, likely up early to prepare for his early morning shift, was the first to meet Alberto. He was met with gunfire. Nathaniel shot Alberto multiple times as he tried to retreat to his bedroom, where Zoraida and the children were sleeping. When he approached the bedroom door, Zoraida was doing her best to keep it shut, but Nathaniel shot through the door, striking and killing Zoraida before forcing his way inside to murder her 2 young sons, Adriel and Diego. Together, the family was shot a total of 20 times. The scene was then staged in a grotesque attempt to mislead investigators. Walls were spray painted with graffiti meant to mimic the senseless vandalism of juvenile delinquents. Even the family's 3 dogs were slaughtered, 2 in the kitchen and 1 in a bedroom. After the murders, Nathaniel texted the cartel, reporting the killings, but admitting he'd forgotten to take the victims' cell phones. This final interaction further cemented his belief that he was acting under the orders of a powerful organization. In reality, the puppet master was sitting a short distance away in the car, Ermalinda Palomo, the woman whose jealousy had driven her to orchestrate a massacre. Nathaniel later confessed to his mother, claiming he'd committed the killings because people were after him. When asked why he murdered the children, his chilling response was, "They were better off dead than alive without parents." Now, could this have been prevented? In the months leading up to the Romeoville massacre, there were glaring red flags, yet the signs were ignored, dismissed, or left unreported to authorities. By June 2023, a mere month into Nathaniel Huey Jr. and Zoraida Bartholomew's relationship, threatening messages began surfacing. These messages warned Zoraida to stay away from Nathaniel, claiming he was about to be implicated in a murder investigation. They accused her of endangering her children by continuing to see him. Zoraida's defiant response revealed her frustration and resilience. "You don't know anything about me as a mother or a person." Then the threats escalated. On June 27, 2023, Ermalinda Palomo, posing as an anonymous source, contacted Alberto Roland directly. The message claimed Zoraida was cheating on him with Nathaniel and urged Alberto to confront his wife. Palomo's manipulations grew more personal and malicious, painting Nathaniel as a violent individual whose presence endangered Alberto's family. In July 2023, Alberto received even more messages, but he refused to defuse the situation. Instead, he pleaded with the messenger to just leave him alone. "All I want to do is work and go home and be with my kids. I'm not a complicated person, and I don't need or deserve all this drama." Tensions boiled over into an altercation. Alberto allegedly slashed Nathaniel's tires. However, in a gesture of remorse, he later apologized. He paid for the damages and just urged Nathaniel to stay away from his wife. But Zoraida was not letting go. Her messages became more threatening and explicit as the weeks passed. She sent a dire warning to Alberto. "The mother of your children is putting them in danger, and she knows this. Huey has rifles and guns he carries with him." Less than 2 weeks before the murder, Alberto received a haunting text. "This will be the last I say of this, Alberto. This stupid girl will be the reason you have no children." Now, despite these threats, there is no record of Zoraida or Alberto reporting them to the police. Zoraida confided in a co-worker about the escalating harassment, admitting she was scared for her family's safety. Yet, even this revelation was not relayed to authorities. Now guys, do you remember this part?
We're investigating a murder.
Murders. Murders. Murders.
Well, clearly you did, you lying, cold-hearted, jealous, manipulative killer. And by the way, how stupid is Huey to fall for this? At the end, he cared more about himself than even the lives of kids and an entire family. So much for the macho man image he tried to convey. He's dumber than a rock, and any semblance of sympathy I might have for him got completely washed away by his crimes. At the end, it's somewhat ironic that the killer Ermalinda turned Huey into to protect their relationship was the one who ended up taking her life. This is Victor, and remember, there's a lot of evil in this world, and that's why sometimes you must be that light in the darkness. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.